Across the frozen peaks of the north, relentless winds test every living creature. In the deep rainforests, thick canopy hides the constant struggle for vital sunlight. Vast oceans conceal immense predatory pressure beneath miles of shifting blue waves. No matter the region, the ancient law of survival demands absolute adaptation. Every ecosystem forces a balance where human eyes admire majestic landscapes, wild animals and signs of this is beautiful golden horizons, the wilderness recognizes unencumbered territory. Now, the scorching sun narrows our focus toward a truly unforgiving southern frontier. The Kgalagadi sands stretch wide, choked by relentless drought and blinding daylight heat. A supreme predator must confront the ultimate test of its enduring power. The Kalahari lion rules a domain shaped entirely by scarcity and intense heat. Distinctive dark manes absorb the midday sun while pacing through parched desert grass. Unlike valley relatives, these solitary hunters must endure days without a single drink. Survival depends on reading the dry wind for any trace of moving prey. Every step across the red sand dunes requires careful conservation of vital energy. Pride structures shrink here, forcing small groups to rely heavily on individual skill. The heavy atmosphere carries the constant, invisible weight of prolonged seasonal starvation. But in the wild, peace often only a temporary illusion before chaos. The massive cat uses golden daylight shadows to mask its slow, calculated approach. Its amber eyes lock onto a distant target grazing amidst the thorn bushes. Muscles tense under scarred skin as the gap between hunter and prey closes. In this arid wasteland, a single mistake means wasting precious metabolic resources. The predator calculates the wind direction to avoid revealing its dangerous presence early. Every instinct inherited through generations guides the silent movement across cracked earth. The pressure to succeed increases as afternoon heat threatens to deplete physical stamina. Suddenly, the fragile silence shatters as the giant predator launches forward with power. Dust explodes into the bright sky as a desperate high-stakes chase begins instantly. The target senses the incoming threat, turning the desert into a combat arena. Speed alone cannot guarantee a meal when facing the specialized inhabitants of Kgalagadi. For predators, opportunity can disappear completely in a single, fleeting breath of wind. The hunting lion meets a wall of resistance it cannot easily break through. Striking from the front carries immense peril against a cornered, well-armed opponent. The desperate struggle for life unfolds beneath the glare of the noon sun. Claws and raw strength clash against an ancient instinct designed purely for defense. The hunter must weigh the reward against the severe risk of permanent injury. Driven back by sharp resistance, the exhausted lion must eventually abandon the pursuit. It retreats to the sparse shade, surviving to hunt another burning desert day. Where one giant faces failure, the true weapon of the prey is revealed. The magnificent Gemsbok stands proud, wielding long horns like straight, deadly swords. These specialized antelopes possess biological features perfectly evolved for this severe environment. A unique nasal vascular system acts as an internal cooling mechanism for survival. It cools the blood before it reaches the brain during extreme physical exertion. This advanced adaptation allows them to endure scorching temperatures up to 45 degrees. When cornered by apex predators, they choose fierce confrontation over rapid, exhausting flight. Their sharp horns swing with lethal precision, targeting the eyes of incoming threats. This defensive prowess maintains the delicate balance between life and death out here. The desert grass sways as the proud herd resumes its search for moisture. Here, Survival belongs entirely to those who read the warning signs early enough. In nature, raw strength must always respect the evolution of perfect defense. The Kalahari lions withdraw slowly, conserving their remaining energy for another day. But the sun-scorched landscape holds other formidable giants, driven by deep survival instincts. Across the dusty horizon, a massive silhouette emerges through the shimmering heat waves. The African buffalo embodies a relentless spirit of endurance and collective power. Unlike solitary desert wanderers, this heavy herbivore relies entirely on absolute herd solidarity. Their survival is a shared contract written in dust, memory, and defensive numbers. Under the blazing daylight, the herd moves steadily toward distant, hidden water sources. Mature bulls carry heavy, armoured horn bosses shaped by years of brutal conflict. For these giants, the baking wilderness is a constant test of physical stamina. They read the dry wind, tracking the faint scent of moisture across miles. Inside the buffalo's world, the group memory dictates the path to ultimate survival. Every individual position within the moving column serves a specific defensive purpose. Vulnerable calves walk protected in the centre, surrounded by massive, watchful guardians. But in the wild, peace is often only a temporary illusion before danger. The smell of dust alerts the nearby pride of lions to an opportunity. A tense atmosphere settles over the dry grasslands as two forces prepare to clash. The predators track the heavy herd, searching for any sign of physical weakness. For the buffalo, survival means turning to face the threat with coordinated aggression. They do not scatter in panic like smaller, fragile prey across the plains. Instead, the massive bulls form a defensive crescent, lowering their deadly horn bosses. This collective wall of muscle and bone challenges the supreme authority of lions. A single mistake by an overconfident predator can result in immediate, fatal trampling. The lions hesitate, recognizing the explosive fury contained within the cornered herd. The intense psychological warfare unfolds beneath the glare of the unforgiving afternoon sun. Instinct demands that the herd remains unbroken to ensure the safety of all. With a collective snort, the heavy bulls launch a fierce countercharge forward. Ground shakes as thousands of pounds of raw power drive the predators back. The hunting lions retreat into the brush, outmatched by sheer solidarity and force. This dramatic victory proves that unity can dismantle the pressure of apex hunters. The triumphant herd resumes its march, leaving a trail of dust behind them. Their journey through the arid environment requires constant vigilance and unwavering focus. Where heavy giants rule through power, the unforgiving Kgalagadi sun continues to bake the ancient dusty landscape relentlessly. Every creature living here is heavily defined by its unique evolutionary weapons. From giant, armoured buffalo herds to small rodents, adaptation dictates immediate survival. The harsh environment shows absolutely no mercy to the weak or poorly prepared. The endless cycle of desert survival rolls forward under the vast blinding sky. As the hot afternoon light shifts, the majestic Gemsbok herd seeks water. They use ancient instincts to locate life-saving moisture buried deep beneath dry sand. This rare ability allows them to endure where less adapted species quickly perish. Their unique physiology represents the absolute pinnacle of evolutionary adaptation to drought. Even under the most intense sun, they maintain an impressive, noble composure. Nearby, the alpha male lion watches the moving herd from a safe distance. He understands that hunting under these extreme conditions requires an enormous energy sacrifice. For now, the heavy predator must prioritize basic survival over immediate hunger. He closes his amber eyes, letting the warm desert wind pass over him. Every creature in the Kgalagadi is bound by the same unyielding rules. The ancient land shows no mercy to those who fail to adapt properly. Survival remains a daily test passed only through perfect instinct and specialized weapons. The buffalo herd gathers near a dry riverbed, scanning the open plains cautiously. Their massive bodies require constant hydration, making every journey highly critical. They rely on the collective wisdom of old matriarchs to find rare oases. Each step through the dust is a testament to their enduring evolutionary power. The eternal rhythm of the wilderness beats on through the burning daytime heat. The African buffalo herd navigates the harsh terrain, driven by an urgent need for food. Under the blazing equatorial sun, finding nourishment requires constant movement across parched landscapes. These massive herbivores consume tough desert grasses that other species find entirely unpalatable. Their specialized digestive system processes coarse vegetation, turning dry fiber into vital energy. However, grazing in the open fields exposes the herd to relentless predatory surveillance. Pride of Kalahari lions track their heavy footprints, waiting for an isolated individual. For the buffalo, safety depends entirely on maintaining a tight and disciplined formation. Stronger bulls constantly patrol the outer perimeter, scanning the brush for hidden threats. But in the wild, peace is often only a temporary illusion before danger. A sudden shift in the wind carries the distinct scent of a predator close. The lead matriarch halts instantly, raising her heavy head to analyze the air currents. An unspoken signal ripples through the herd, causing hundreds of bodies to freeze. Lions emerge from the shimmering heat waves, testing the resolve of the giants. Instead of scattering, the buffaloes lock their massive shoulders together in absolute defiance. Their collective weight forms an organic fortress that no single predator can breach. The alpha lion measures the risk, knowing a direct charge could be fatal. In this high-stakes standoff, psychological dominance determines who yields the territory first. The buffaloes stomp the dusty earth, sending a clear message of aggressive resistance. Faced with an unbreakable wall of horns, the predators slowly back away downwind. This successful defense secures another day of survival for the vulnerable young calves. The herd moves toward a rare mud wallow to cool their thick hides. Caked mud provides a protective layer against the scorching sun and biting insects. This essential behavior allows the massive animals to lower their elevated core temperatures. Even the strongest giants must adapt their daily routines to match environmental limits. As the buffaloes rest, nature demands absolute adaptation from every living creature that walks upon this earth. Survival pressure never truly fades, testing the boundaries of strength and primal instinct. Humans look at the vast wilderness and admire the breathtaking beauty of landscapes. Animals look at the same horizon and see only territory, hunger, and danger. Deep within the heart of Southeast Asia lies an ancient, sunlit tropical rainforest. Khao Yai remains a dense wilderness where life operates under strict evolutionary laws. Here, the daylight reveals two entirely different worlds operating within one single forest. High above the damp forest floor, the ancient canopy catches the morning sunlight. This elevated realm belongs to a magnificent master of the wild sky, the hornbill. For the great hornbill, the high treetops offer both sanctuary and immense survival pressure. Every morning, the wild daylight activates an ancient rhythm deeply embedded in their bloodline. This avian giant does not merely fly, it commands the upper layers of nature. But above the emerald canopy, life is currently defined by a critical reproductive crisis. A sacred ritual of isolation and devotion is unfolding inside an ancient tree hollow. The female hornbill enters her chosen sanctuary, preparing for a long voluntary imprisonment. Using a mixture of forest mud and natural materials, she seals the entrance completely. Only a narrow vertical slit remains, separating her entire existence from the outside world. Inside this dark chamber, she will shed her feathers and protect her fragile eggs. She completely relies on the unwavering commitment of her lifelong mate for absolute survival. Outside, the male hornbill carries the heavy burden of providing for his hidden family. His vast wings beat against the daylight wind as he searches for vital resources. To survive, he must read the living map of the forest with expert precision. The seasonal shifts mean that ripe wild fruits are becoming increasingly difficult. To locate, he must fly across vast distances enduring the intense heat of the afternoon sun. His large, colourful beak is a highly specialised tool designed for this exhausting task. He carefully gathers wild figs, storing them safely inside his throat for the journey. Every single flight carries a massive expenditure of energy and a risk of exhaustion. If the male fails to return, the confined female faces a tragic, certain end. But instinct drives him forward, overriding the physical toll of his relentless daily mission. He navigates the dense network of branches, driven by the powerful urge to provide. Returning to the nesting site, he gently passes the gathered nourishment through the slit. It is a delicate exchange of trust and survival repeated multiple times every day. The canopy demands continuous movement, rewarding only the most disciplined and resilient creatures. For this warm-blooded family, survival is entirely woven from absolute devotion and intense labour. But in the wild, peace is often only a temporary illusion under the sun. The pressure of hunger forces the male to expand his search even further outward. He reads the subtle shifts in the wind, looking for the next distant fruit tree. Every decision he makes under the open sky determines the fate of his lineage. The intense tropical heat tests his endurance as the midday sun reaches its peak. Yet, he cannot afford to rest while his mate waits in complete darkness. This incredible display of avian commitment highlights the true complexity of rainforest life. The hornbill family remains tethered to the high branches, vulnerable to sudden climate changes. Their survival strategy is an intricate gamble against time, weather, and shifting resources. Every successful feeding represents a small victory against the unforgiving laws of the wild. The continuous echo of his wings tells the story of an unbreakable natural bond. But while the treetops buzz with this frantic activity, another reality exists below. Far beneath the emerald canopy, the forest floor tells a completely different survival story. The golden sunlight filters through leaves, creating warm patches on the forest floor. Here, a massive shadow moves silently across the banks of a slow-moving river. This low-lying realm belongs to a primordial survivor, the great Asian water monitor lizard. For this large reptile, the forest floor is an intricate map of heat and scent. Unlike the warm-blooded birds above, this creature operates on a completely different biological clock. As a cold-blooded predator, its morning begins not with action, but with absolute stillness. The lizard seeks out fallen logs or exposed rocks touched by the morning sun. It lies motionless, absorbing the vital solar energy needed to activate its sluggish muscles. Thermoregulation is the first and most critical rule of survival for this ancient species. Without the sun's warmth, its digestive system cannot function, leaving it entirely helpless. Once internal temperatures rise, the monitor lizard transforms into an efficient, calculating hunter. It moves with slow, deliberate steps, conserving precious energy with every forward motion. Its long, deeply forked tongue constantly flickers out to taste the humid forest air. Using a highly specialized Jacobson's organ, it decodes the microscopic scent molecules around it. The air carries distinct traces of decay, hidden nests, and potential nutritional opportunities. To this master of scent, the silent forest floor is loud with invisible information. It tracks down sustenance not through frantic speed, but through immense, unyielding patience. The lizard prefers to find carrion or unguarded resources, avoiding unnecessary, exhausting conflicts. Every movement is calculated to maximize nutritional reward while minimizing physical energy output. In this world, instinct must speak much faster than thought can ever begin. The monitor lizard embodies the ultimate survival strategy of solitude and sharp, environmental awareness. It shares no bonds, cares for no companion, and walks this earth completely alone. This independent lifestyle allows it to thrive where social creatures might easily perish. The mud along the riverbank bears witness to its ancient, highly successful design. For thousands of years, this species has survived by reading the land perfectly. It glides effortlessly through the murky water, navigating the aquatic boundary with ease. The river provides both a hunting ground and a quick escape from potential hazards. Even a quiet landscape can still carry unseen danger for an exposed reptile. It remains hyper-aware of changes in its immediate surroundings, monitoring every minor vibration. A single mistake can turn familiar terrain into a highly disadvantageous situation. The sunlit riverbanks offer the perfect balance of heat, shelter, and foraging potential. But the predictable rhythm of the afternoon is about to face a massive disruption. The humid air grows heavy as dark clouds begin to swallow the golden daylight. A sudden tropical storm approaches, threatening to alter the entire dynamics of Kauai. The temperature drops rapidly, sending an immediate warning signal to the cold-blooded lizard. Without the sun, its window for active survival is quickly coming to a close. It must find a deep subterranean burrow before the cold rain drains its energy. Its movements quicken as the first heavy raindrops pierce through the forest canopy. High above, the same atmospheric shift brings intense danger to the foraging hornbill. The rising winds lash against the treetops, making flight an incredibly treacherous endeavour. The male hornbill is caught far from his nest. fighting against powerful, unpredictable gusts. His wings struggle to maintain lift as the heavy downpour begins to saturate his feathers. Yet, the urgent calls of his sealed mate echo clearly in his memory. He cannot seek shelter while his family relies entirely on the fruit he carries. The wild rarely announces danger before it completely reshapes the rules of survival. On the ground, the monitor lizard slides into a dark, protective earthen hollow. It curls tightly, entering a state of forced preservation until the sun returns tomorrow. In the canopy, the hornbill pushes forward through the blinding sheet of grey water. Two entirely different creatures are now facing the exact same elemental test of survival. Their divergent paths highlight the beautiful, brutal complexity of this ancient tropical paradise. The monitor lizard relies on ancient instincts perfected over millions of evolutionary years. Beneath the low canopy, every patch of dry ground tells a distinct sensory story. Its flickering tongue continues to capture invisible chemical signals drifting through the humid air. The Jacobson's organ processes these minute particles, mapping out hidden paths toward nourishment. A fallen tree trunk provides both a potential foraging site and a temporary shelter. For this solitary reptile, survival requires a delicate balance of patience and calculated action. It does not chase prey across vast distances like the warm-blooded hunters above. Instead, it waits for the perfect moment, conserving every single drop of energy. But the darkening sky threatens to disrupt this highly efficient method of survival. The tropical sun disappears completely behind an advancing wall of dense, heavy clouds. For an animal dependent on external warmth, this sudden change brings immediate danger. As ambient temperatures drop, the lizard's physical movements become noticeably slower and heavier. Its metabolic rate begins to decline, reducing its capacity to react to threats. It must find a safe refuge before its body becomes completely paralyzed by cold. The forest floor quickly transforms from a peaceful hunting ground into a perilous trap. Every passing second increases the survival pressure on this ancient, cold-blooded creature. It targets a deep mud bank where subterranean hollows offer protection from the elements. Meanwhile, the high canopy bears the full brunt of the arriving tropical storm. Violent gusts of daylight wind shake the ancient trees, creating a chaotic sky realm. The male hornbill battles against the powerful drafts to keep his heavy body airborne. His feathers become thoroughly soaked, significantly increasing the physical effort required to fly. Yet, the demanding biological clock of his hidden family leaves no room for rest. The female remains completely helpless inside the dark, sealed cavity of the tree. She depends entirely on his ability to navigate this treacherous, rain-soaked wilderness safely. If he falls to the ground, the entire lineage perishes within that wooden fortress. This intense pressure drives the avian master forward through the blinding sheet of rain. He clutches the final collection of wild fruits firmly inside his specialized throat chamber. Every coordinate of the forest layout is permanently etched into his survival memory. He recognizes the distant silhouette of the nesting tree rising through the dense mist. With one final, exhausted effort, he lands precariously on the wet bark surface. Through the tiny vertical slit, the vital nourishment is passed to his mate. It is a triumphant moment of absolute devotion achieved against immense natural odds. But down below, the great water monitor faces an equally critical survival challenge. The heavy rain floods the lower forest paths, altering the entire riverbank landscape. The giant reptile struggles to drag its cooling body into the dark burrow. Its limbs grow numb as the cold water drenches its thick, armoured skin. In this desperate state, instinct commands the creature to conserve its remaining heat. It curls tightly inside the earth, entering a defensive state of deep stillness. The wild forces both masters to submit to the overwhelming power of the elements. For several intense hours, the entire rainforest is held captive by the storm. No animal can safely cross the open territory while the deluge continues unabated. But nature always operates in cycles, and the heavy clouds eventually begin to part. Fresh afternoon sunlight cuts through the mist, illuminating the dripping emerald canopy once more. The return of the daylight signals the immediate resumption of the survival race. High above, the male hornbill shakes the excess water from his powerful wings. His duty for the afternoon is complete, but tomorrow will bring identical demands. The cycle of devotion never stops until the young chicks are ready to fly. Underneath the trees, the warming earth begins to release thick plumes of vapor. The monitor lizard slowly emerges from the darkness of its subterranean mud shelter. The golden rays immediately strike its damp scales, restarting the vital internal engine. Its muscles regain their flexibility, allowing the predator to reclaim its territory efficiently. Once again, the long tongue flickers out to decode the transformed forest environment. The storm has washed away old scents, leaving a clean canvas of opportunity. Two entirely different creatures have successfully endured the absolute worst of the day. They occupy the same geography, but inhabit completely separate dimensions of biological existence. The hornbill thrives on high-altitude movement, family bonds, and relentless physical labour. The water monitor conquers through profound silence, complete solitude, and environmental patience. Neither strategy is superior, yet both have withstood the rigorous test of time. Kgalagadi remains an ancient stage where these distinct lifelines weave together harmoniously. The survival pressure here ensures that only the most adaptable designs can endure. Every leaf, riverbank, and tree hollow plays a crucial role in this balance. For the warm-blooded birds, the sky represents an open highway of endless effort. For the cold-blooded reptiles, the ground is an intricate mosaic of thermal energy. Inside this dense wilderness, every single creature must pay the cost of living. The wild never offers guarantees, rewarding only those who respect its strict laws. As the afternoon progresses, the natural rhythm of the forest becomes remarkably peaceful. The hornbill prepares for another foraging flight before the sun sets completely tonight. The water monitor moves quietly along the river, tracking a fresh scent trail. They will never clash directly, yet their lives are bound by the land. This ancient ecosystem demands absolute perfection from every single inhabitant within its borders. The complex dance of coexistence ensures the continued health of the entire forest. Every behavioural trait has been meticulously shaped by millions of years of trial. The hornbill's sealed nest remains a powerful symbol of evolutionary trust and safety. The lizard's steady focus represents the unyielding resilience of our planet's oldest lineages. Together, they illustrate the beautiful diversity of solutions to the problem of hunger. Nature does not favour one method over another, it simply demands absolute results. The intense daylight continues to shine down on this vibrant, ever-changing tropical sanctuary. Every creature carries the wisdom of its ancestors, written directly into its blood. To survive here is to understand the precise language of wind and soil. The heavy canopy continues to guard the secrets of this remarkable avian family. The muddy riverbanks will always retain the ancient footprints of the great reptile. Life persists through the clever management of energy, time, and changing weather conditions. The forest does not care about individual struggles, only the continuation of species. Every successful generation passes the torch of instinct down to the vulnerable young. As the golden light shifts, the true majesty of Kgalagadi becomes clear. It is not a place of random chaos, but a finely tuned machine. The dual worlds of the canopy and the floor will always remain connected. Humans may look at this wilderness and see only a beautiful green landscape, but for the wild inhabitants, it is an endless arena of survival choices. Every breath taken under this sun is earned through immense skill and instinct. The great hornbill will continue to soar across the vast emerald ocean above. The water monitor will keep its silent watch over the slow-moving forest waters. Their contrasting lives reveal the absolute brilliance of natural adaptation on our planet. No single rule dictates how a creature must face the pressure of living. Nature provides a unique path for the dedicated and the patient alike here. The ancient rhythm of Kgalagadi will endure long after the daylight fades. Every animal remains a perfect testament to the power of inherited primal wisdom. Survival is the ultimate victory, woven from devotion, patience, and unyielding natural strength. The eternal dance of the wild continues, balancing life on the edge always. In this magnificent paradise, the ancient laws of instinct will reign forever supreme.